There it is. We're live,
All
everybody.
right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my metamorphosis. We're going to have a meaty discussion this evening. Actually, it's not going to be that serious. I just picked that for a title, a meaty discussion, right? I'm not sure how deep our subject, our topics are going to be. But anyway, I'm here with Cristie at Meeting Wellness, and we're just going to talk about anything carnivore, or for that matter, low carb, keto, ketovore, whatever your jam is. Maybe you're thinking about starting carnivore. Maybe you're carnivore curious and you'd like to know if carnivore would help you. And if you're in that boat, then hey, um, join in and ask your questions, and we'll do our best to answer. And we've got Susan with us, our good friend Susan. Hey, Susan, and I did get your email. I'm sorry that my response was so short. I mean, I saw it right as I was getting ready to go online for the stream. So, but I do appreciate you sending me that book. She's sending me a book about Gene Simmons. And
Okay.
yeah. So,
yeah, what's cool about the fact that you're a rocker is that I do know who all those people are. So it's like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I'm not into it the way you are, but that's so cool, I think. And yeah, I do know all the names when you say them.
Yeah, and it's a book that I do not have. I have a bunch of them, but I don't have that one. So that was very sweet of Susan, and I do appreciate it very much. And
Nice.
I am eager to read the book. And speaking of books, I don't know if you are familiar with Dave Ramsey and the whole Ramsey Solutions team, but they have kind of branched out into some areas. And I know that they, like during COVID, for example, they brought on this gentleman named Dr. John Deloney, and he actually,
Hi, Rhonda.
Hey, Rhonda.
Yay.
Great to see you. Great to see you.
I have been chatting. She's awesome. She sprints like I do.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've started sprinting, but I don't do it every day. Oh, hey, Jones here.
Well, I don't know if Rhonda's sprinting every day, but she was the first one. So I've been sprinting, and there's got to be people out there sprinting, but I didn't know of any. So that was one of the things that's happened since the last time we spoke live, Carrie, is that I found 2 people also sprinting and posting what they're doing. And Rhonda was one of them, and she was the first one. I got so excited. I'm not alone.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes.
But I got a new book. Actually, just the ebook. The hardcover is on its way. And Dr. John Deloney had written a quick read during the COVID, about addressing anxiety and how to connect with people, when you had to social distance and all of that kind of thing. And so this is just a more in-depth thing. So if you're interested, just check out. I mean, and I have no affiliation with Dave Ramsey's site, but I love their material. They're good Christian people, and they really do. The organization wants to help people. They have a wonderful app that I use for budgeting called Every Dollar, and it connects with your bank. They do have a free version that doesn't connect with the bank, but if you do have to pay for the service to connect with your bank, which is understandable. So, but anyway, it's going to be interesting. He's going to talk about diet in this book, because that's one of the things, and we've talked about that in the low carb, carnivore, ketovore community in general, about just all the seed oils and things that our bodies aren't accustomed to. So I'm really interested in reading that chapter. So that's why I mentioned the book. But, you might want to check out just their whole, anybody would want to check out their whole website and their various personalities. Like, they've got this one person who her and her husband paid off almost $500,000 in student loans, and they had started out making $30,000 a year, and they just grew their incomes, got real creative with side jobs and things that they could do, and it took them 7 years, but they did it. And this woman is now one of the motivational speakers on his team, and she is very motivated to listen to. So anybody out there, and that's one thing that does make people anxious. I think, in addition to the terrible food that's out there, the FUD, it's not really food. It's fake food. In addition to that, though, we have so much other stress that our bodies just don't know how to handle. And part of that is just, student loans, and it's not necessarily a person's fault that they, when you're 18, you're young and dumb. You don't know. You can't really conceive of that.
Yeah.
At that age, I remember being 18, and I remember looking ahead when the year 2000 was going to happen, and I was going to be, I believe, 30, what is it, 34? Yeah, I was going to be 34, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so old.
Yep, I was going to be 25, but when I was 10 years old, and I was like, man, in 2000, I'm going to be 25. That is old.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's just funny. Your perception of everything is just so different when you're that young, and a year seems like forever. And so, when you go to college and you're thinking about, it's a good idea at the time to borrow the money, but then you don't necessarily think about having to pay it back. So anyway, just some really good resources out there, and that along with your diet can really reduce your stress and anxiety for sure. So tell us a little bit more about your sprinting and what your next challenge is going to be.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So the last time I spoke about sprinting, I was still in pain world.
Yes. And I was relating to that.
Yes, and it was, when you said you could barely walk, like, she was not exaggerating, you guys. I could barely walk. I think I said to somebody, I'm barely ambulatory. Like, it was no joke. And honestly, what kept me from not taking a day off was, I'm going to have to post this. If I take a day off, I'm going to have to post it. I don't want to post that I took a day off. So that really kept me going. And, I don't know when it was. This is kind of why I started posting every day, because I can go back and see when I had these realizations. But a few days ago, I started noticing that, so my hip flexors had been super sore. I could barely, I'd have to push myself back up if I'd squat down. My quadriceps, insanely sore. Even the fronts of my ankles, I don't know what those are called, started off really sore. Now the only soreness I have left is a little bit in my quadriceps, and only when I'm sprinting. So when I'm just doing other stuff, I don't really notice that I'm sore. And then when I sprint, because I'm putting all that, pressure and force on them, they're a little bit sore. But now I'm sprinting, and I'm just like, I feel fast. Like, I'm probably not fast, but I feel fast. I feel like the wind rushing by. Like, I feel stronger. I'm working on now my posture. I'm working on picking up my knees. Whereas before, I was just, can I make it to the end of the street without something buckling? Like Rhonda said, she pulled her quads when she first started sprinting. So yeah, I honestly felt, I think I said this over and over before, it was like, you're supposed to be sprinting as fast as you can. And I felt like probably I could have been sprinting faster, but my quadriceps were not going to let me. Like, something was going to pull, and then I would have been out of the game. So I don't feel that way anymore. I go out, I know, and I do my 8 sprints, and I feel like I could maybe do 9 or 10, but I keep it to 8, and I just really work on pushing it as fast as I can in my form. So getting my knees up, taking longer strides, that kind of thing. I'm keeping my back straight, up, and kind of leaning into it. That's the new thing. When you lean forward like that, boy, that's trust. That's trust in your own legs that you're not going to fall, because I'm on my street, so it's blacktop.
Oh, so, yeah, mine is too.
Yeah.
It would not be fun to kiss it.
No, I don't want to kiss it. Absolutely not. But I'm over the, like, I knew that good things were happening, right? But I'm over that, like, I'm just so sore I can't walk. And now I can feel things getting better. So, and also just, this is anecdotal evidence here, and I'll give you a little sneak peek of my results. But my husband went to school for massage therapy, and then he sort of hasn't given me massages in a while. I know, poor me. So hard for me sometimes. But anyway, he hadn't given me a massage since months ago. And he needed to, like, brush up on some of his skills. And I asked him to say, like, when you're massaging my legs, do you notice a difference? And he said that my legs feel completely all toned and muscular. And they did not used to feel that way. So even though I don't necessarily see that in the mirror, because I'm pear-shaped, so any subcutaneous fat I still have, that's where it is. It's not in my midsection, it's down on my thigh area. But he said it's a definite difference. So
yeah.
Now I'm excited to see if my scale will know, my scale that does the muscle percentages.
Oh, that's right. You've got one of those fancy dancy
I
ones.
do. And I don't know how accurate they are, but I just wanted to do it as an experiment and then go get a DEXA scan and see if it matches. So that's kind of what I'm doing. But yes, I mean, that's when he told me that, I was like, woohoo.
Because then, it's one thing, it's hard to know on yourself. You live with yourself
every day. So you don't see the change.
But when somebody else notices and can tell you what's changed, it makes a difference. It really does.
Yeah.
So what's next now? So are you doing the planks or?
So no one's like, there's only 10 votes, but I mean, no one's voting. If anyone wants to go to my community tab, you will have to scroll down because I posted some other, I posted some Lioness Live stuff. I posted my shirts. I made some cool shirts, Carrie.
I saw that.
The next one is bite butter. I'm gonna make a bite butter shirt because we were joking about your bite butter, and I just think that's hilarious. But yeah,
don't you touch my bite butter.
Don't touch my bite butter. so those are kind of things are posted too. But if you scroll down, there's a place where you can vote. And right now, planks are in the lead. So I'm just sort of kind of planning for that because if no one else votes, that's what's going to win. And I'm just thinking about, because I'm still going to sprint. I'm still going to sprint every other day, like Rhonda said she does. I'm not going to take that out because I think I'm getting a lot of benefit from it. I'm a little nervous because I've had 2 hernia surgeries and my stomach right above my belly button because of having babies, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I had to have 2 hernia repairs there. So I do have to be careful. They were small, but I don't want to get another one.
Oh no. Yeah. Just start very easy.
Yeah, very easy.
From what I read, I did some research about it and they were, from what I from what I read, they said that if you really extend it beyond like a minute and a half, that there's really no real benefit and you can actually strain yourself.
Right.
So it's more of just, I think, being consistent in doing them. Now, I'm not up to a minute and a half yet. I vacillate between like 50 seconds and then like a little bit over a minute. I'm not sure why I vacillate like that, but it's still a very close range, but so I guess you could say I average about a minute.
And how do you do like more than one? Do you hold it and then take a rest and then do another one? Or do you just do
what
one?
I do is I do them during the day while I'm just sitting here working. Like if I have a moment, then I'll just do, or I guess a minute or so, and I'll just do like one. So I'll just like do a plank at a time, just periodically.
Okay.
So it's not like I say, I'm going to do 10 planks. I'm just like, okay, while I'm waiting on this job to run, I'll go ahead and do a plank.
Well, I might get out there and do them with my students. If we can find a good spot during PE, we might get out there and do some planks.
Oh, they would think that's fun.
Yeah, if I get down there, if I tell them to do it, they wouldn't think it's fun. But if I get down there with them and plank, they'll think it's fun. So I might do it that way. I can't drop and plank in the middle of math class, but
no. Yeah, you would have to do yours at a different time. I definitely wouldn't be able to do it if I were in the office, but since I'm here.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, when a few years ago, though, I worked on, it was like a campus. There were several, the buildings were spread out and there was a lot of greenery and everything. And in of course, we used to walk a lot, like on our lunch breaks, but then they actually had a gym there. And of course, you had to sign your life away in order to use it, but that was fine. Basically just saying you wouldn't hold them liable if something happened or whatever. And so we used to go to that little gym. It was nothing fancy. It was all donated equipment, but still, it was really cool. And it was just within a very short walk from my office at the time. And so I could walk down there and it was really nice. And, I was able to also just engage with my coworkers and stuff too. So that was really cool. But then when I started working in downtown Nashville, we did have a floor. I think it was, it was actually like the second floor. You know how downtown buildings are weird. Like what you think of is the first floor is really ground and and basement and yada yada. But anyway, this was like the second floor, which I would think of it as being the first floor, based on where you ended up if you exited. But it had an area where you could just walk around, and so groups of us would go periodically. Like we would either take like a 10 or 15-minute break. Technically, you're supposed to get one in the morning and one in the afternoon, but that never really happens. Most of the time it doesn't. So most of the walking was at lunch, but it was really good to just kind of be able to work that easily in to your daily routine versus I'm just a firm believer, like James Clear, with Atomic Habits talks about, and also, who's the author of Tiny Habits? The books are very similar, but there are some good differences in them. And so they're both worth reading. But anyway, basically they say that the easier that you make a habit and the easier, like you can attach it to something else that you already do, and it incorporates easier into your day, and you're more likely then to stick with it. So I've discovered that. I actually had discovered that about myself before I read those books.
It's true, though. You can hook those things together. I was thinking of doing, so it's been about 1.5 million degrees here, but we're finally getting into, like, it seemed like fall today. Like, I know it's 2 days away, but it started to seem like fall today. So one of the things I want to do is start challenging the kids at lunchtime to like a 3-lap Thursday. So on Thursday at lunch, go out there with them and do like 3 laps with them during their lunch recess time. And just kind of stuff like that to incorporate it into my day. So I'm not kind of like what you were saying, except I'm a teacher. So it's a little bit tricky. We don't really get breaks either. That's kind of a running joke in the teacher community. We don't get to go to the bathroom when we want. We have to just all day long. But anyway, so that's a time that I would have available, and anything that I can do to build a relationship with my students. But hey, that's also going to benefit, my fitness too, and theirs. Goodness knows they need it too. So 3-lap Thursday when it's not 100 degrees at lunchtime is something I'm going to start doing too.
Now that's a great idea. And like you said, if you're out there doing it with them, and they'll laugh, but it's not going to be in a bad way. But they'll be like, they'll just get into it and engage with you and probably like tease you, like maybe if you swing your arms a little too much or just whatever, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, what are you doing? Are you a windmill? Something like that, but it'll be a way that you all can engage. And I'm telling you, you're going to be the best teacher in the school, because you're participating with them and you're getting them active and involved. And it's not like a passive thing. You're actually there with them doing it. That's important. And they'll love you forever.
So I brought a little piece of, teachers call this Raelia. This is a Lightning McQueen. One of my students gave me this guy today, and I'm just wondering if anyone wants to post in the chat why a student would maybe give me a Lightning McQueen. And it's not because I sprint. Spoiler.
Not because you sprint.
Yes,
well,
it was really cute. Anyone have ideas? I don't know how many people. I don't know how many people are in here right now, but.
Let's see. It says 5, but sometimes I think that's wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways.
but it says there's 5 folks in here at the moment.
Awesome.
So
I don't know if anyone has a guess, but hi, Ellie. Nice to see you. I'm glad you got your kids to bed, and yay, she can chat now.
Yes, Ellie is here. I'm trying to get better about paying attention to chat, because sometimes I'll get to chatting myself in terms of with whoever is on the screen. And next thing you know, like 600 chat messages have gone by, and it's like, oh, I'm behind. I don't know how some of these people, well, I know what they do. They get moderators, when they have such large audiences, they have to get moderators. I actually got the privilege of being a moderator now for Nicole, for Former Fat Girl. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, last time I talked about how I'm just trying to fail upward, right? Like fail upward because whatever. So last time I didn't realize there was like a private chat and then a comments, and it defaults to private chat. So I couldn't see any of the comments last time unless you put them on the screen. I learned. Now I can see them. So that's nice. I can see everybody's. I was like, why can't I see the comments? Where are those going to be?
I know that is not obvious.
No, it isn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. You have to really be cognizant of where. And I didn't know either in the beginning myself. I didn't know. Oh, I was so awkward. I'm still not exactly like polished, but it's the more you do, it's doing is the trick. or at least it is for me.
We lionesses are about to learn. I don't know if any of us, I've never hosted a live stream. I've been on a few now, but I've never hosted any. So we're about to learn real quickly how to actually do that. So yeah, so Ellie says Lightning McQueen because I have high energy like lightning. That's funny. Yes, we are going to gain those live stream muscles. Actually, Lightning McQueen's number is 95. And whenever I see the number 95, I don't say 95, I say Lightning McQueen. So if the answer is 95 or what else, we don't do this symbol of math, but if it's like 90 plus 5, I'll be like, okay, 90 plus 5 equals Lightning McQueen. It's just something fun I do. And they're like, what?
Oh, I bet your kids love you.
I love cars. Are you kidding me? And so anyways, I've done it for a few years now. And a student today brought me, he goes, look what I brought you.
That is awesome.
So I'm going to take him back to school and he's going to live on my desk. But I brought him home today because I just thought that's like my teacher victory of the day. This is how we get paid, guys. We don't get paid in dollars. We get paid in plastic race cars.
But I'll tell you what, they'll be, in their 50s and they'll remember, you know what I'm saying? They'll be, a conversation will come up and people will be talking about, their favorite teachers or whatever. And I guarantee you're going to be the top of the list for a lot of people. And that's something that's priceless.
Yeah,
it is. My favorite teacher was Miss Finley in first grade. And I still remember her. And her mother was actually living in the same retirement community that my parents lived in. And her mother was 100. I think she had her 100th birthday. Yeah, her mother, Miss Finley's mother. So Miss Finley is, well, I'm not sure how old she is, but I mean, I would guess that she's probably maybe in her late 70s, probably. So it's just maybe early 80s. And she looks the same. I mean, you can tell she's aged, obviously, but I just loved her. She had this puppet, and his name was Duso the Dolphin. And he had a little song. And I just loved her. She just had a great way with kids. And then there was a mean teacher, and I won't say her name, but she was very mean. And in a sense, I don't think she intended to do it. But math, I struggled with math for a while. And it's ironic now because I deal with formulas all the time.
Just going to say, I think that's your job.
Yes. I guess maybe with some of it, I don't know if it was just how I was taught or I was just slow to get it or just what it was. But and long division was terrible for me. I don't know why I struggled.
That in unit 2. Let's go long division.
Yeah. I struggled with it bad, and we had a test, and I really don't think she intended to do this. I mean, looking back now, it hurt at the time, but she was passing out the test, and she said, we only had one person to fail. Oops. And of course, then I get my paper, and of course, everybody knows it's me. I mean, hello. So, the whole world knew that I failed. But then there was a student teacher who was actually in that class, and she saw what happened. And she came up to me when I was in the cloakroom, we were getting ready to go outside. And she told me that I was so creative and talented and that some people are just better at some things than at others and that everybody can't be good at everything and to just keep trying. And she was just the sweetest. And I bet she made a good teacher. I never saw her after that year again, but I used to make little books and I would staple the pages together and I would illustrate them and stuff.
That's cute.
And then later I started drawing, then I would do my logo designs and stuff like that. But
yeah, you're so good at that. I love your shirts. I'm going to have to get on and get one. I like the lion. I like the lion with the lightning.
Oh, thank you. This is actually more digital art. So it's not something that I drew freehand, but I manipulated. Yeah, I manipulate. Now I do draw freehand, but this particular thing was done all digitally through Canva. And you just take.
I'm using Canva too. And I'm like, I got the 30-day full version. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Oh yeah. I went ahead and got that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you can take and manipulate photos and you can, just shapes and all kinds of stuff. And so that was what I did. I took design elements and then stripped away basically everything. But I mean, I played with it for quite a while to get it to how I really wanted it.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing I've learned. I mean, my sister-in-law talked about Canva, but I never used it until I started doing this. And yeah, it's just cool, all the stuff you learn. But yes, I've been, Ellie knows this, right, Ellie? Ellie did some of our Linus lifestyle logo things, and she was just having the best time, and she was sending us different, renditions of it. And then we figured we could share it between us so you can collaborate with somebody and comment and stuff to each other. It's super cool. So we've enjoyed doing that.
And of course, the more I got, when I first started using Canva, it was kind of confusing to me. So I had to watch some tutorials and just get in there and play.
Yep.
Because it at first it wasn't intuitive. Now I understand the logic behind everything and it makes perfect sense. But in the beginning, I was like, what do I do? Because they even gave you like a little sample slideshow that you could mess with.
Yes.
But I was like, I was just lost. And so I had to watch some videos and just get in there and play. And once I did that, then I was, oh, okay, got this. You can just go to the elements and bring this over. And I got immersed in it then. And I just got to where it didn't even feel like work to me. It was just, and I would just play with different colors and tones and just various elements. And so I've got some other designs that I'm working on. I've got to get them the way I want them.
I can't wait to see those. Yeah, I was working on those. I came up with a couple puns this morning that were just cracking me up, and I'm like, I gotta put those on a shirt. So
mom jokes.
Yeah, total mom jokes. Yeah. So it's like, it's time for a steak over. So I made it. It's time for a steak over shirt with a picture of a steak, grilling. And I don't know. I was cracking myself up, and I put it on a shirt. But
hey, why not?
Yeah, why not? But yeah, I'm used to Google. So with teachers and all the distance learning we did everything Google. So I had to learn Google Slides, instead of like PowerPoint. So then I learned all the Google things. And so I guess that's what seems intuitive to me. And Canva doesn't work the same way. I mean, of course, it has way more features than Google Slides, but yeah, it didn't work the same. I was like, where is everything? I don't know. But now it's, once you do it for a little bit, it becomes easy. A lot easier than Photoshop. Yes, Ellie, I can't do Photoshop. I cannot. It's too much.
I did years ago, but I have not used photo. And I was just debating on what to even get. And I knew that a lot of the creators use Canva. So I thought, well, I'll do the trial and see if I like it. But once I really learned it, I was like, oh, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. And I still might get Photoshop or some other. I was looking into maybe Adobe. I don't know. There are several different ones because I want to do there are some things that you can do tons with Canva, but there are some things that I want to do that I think I would have to get one of the ones like that the professional designers use, because like, for example, these things you can in Canva, you can't, unless you create something totally from scratch and upload it, you can't then use it. Like for example, when you use stuff like on spreadshirts and, in t-shirts, you couldn't use something that you created in Canva as a logo, an official logo for yourself, for example. And so, like the metamorphosis, this here, I actually, with the lettering, I designed that myself and uploaded it into Canva. So I'm able to use like the logo and stuff. And I did also do this piece outside of Canva. So like I uploaded each element in there, but you have to be careful. There's so many ifs, ands, or buts when it comes to like the right to use material.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the other things we talked about was the tours of like different farms and things that I want to do. And do you remember me talking about that? So I want to go to like the egg farm and all of that
stuff.
Yes. So as of last time, I had not heard. I had emailed several times, and I guess my email got lost in cyberspace. And so shortly after our last conversation, she emailed me back, and so I'm going to go visit.
Wonderful.
Free-range chicken farm on the 30th. So in 10 days. So
now that'll be good. That'll be a great video. I look forward to seeing that one.
Yeah. And I'm not trained as a interviewer at all, but I'm going to take my phone. When I emailed her, I said, hey, this channel is small and I'm operating on a cell phone, a wing and a prayer, but I would love to come and see your farm and you can tell me about your eggs and your chickens and all of that. So yeah, on the 30th, I'm going to go in the morning and then I'll have to get it all edited together after that and get it posted, but I'm super excited. And then on October 20th, I'm going to a grass-fed beef ranch to go and check out the cows.
That's great. Yeah. That'll be some great material and very interesting to see how things operate behind the scenes and, to see the animals in their natural, in their environment. And that's awesome. And just, Ellie, yes, I did get it. Thank you very much. I did. I liked it and I got it. So just wanted to acknowledge that real quick. And I do like the thumbnail. Y'all are doing really great at that stuff. Getting your logos and your thumbnail. I mean, all of that stuff looks really fantastic. Very professional.
Thank you. Well, we have 3 of us. So that kind of makes it where we can bounce ideas off of each other. And I said this before, but it's so cool just all the friends you make in this community and how welcoming so many people are because that's how I met Ellie and Lindsay. And the 3 of us are kind of just we have this constant Ellie got me to download Instagram, you guys. Me, Miss Generation X, don't know a thing about Instagram, but
I just created my Instagram account.
Yes. Okay.
I did it at my brother. I got my brother because I've never had an Instagram account. I mean, I had Facebook and got rid of it. Yeah. But so I asked my brother right before Alice Cooper started. I said, hey, can you show me how to do Instagram when we get back to the house? And he was like, well, we can just do it now. It won't. And literally it took like a minute to download the app and then to just set up the account. So yeah, I set it up then.
Well, let me tell you, this morning I saw a lady and she's like mirroring me. She has a small channel. I didn't see her on YouTube. I went and subscribed on her YouTube. I forget what it was. I'm bad. I should have written it down. But she's also doing where she's getting regular DEXA scans. And then she also has a scale and she's like going to compare these things. And she's like on her Instagram, she shows herself like doing weights and whatever. And she has goals, but I'm like, that's pretty much what I'm doing. And I thought it was cool. And I was trying to answer her and I'm just typing and I'm like editing my typing. And somehow I sent the same message 3 times. I'm like, what am I? I'm only 47. And then I got banned from like chatting with people on Instagram for 24 hours because I was a spammer.
Oh no!
You're banned from using this feature until like September 21st at midnight. I was like, totally embarrassed.
You spammer, you!
I'm a spammer.
Shame.
Yeah, they're trying to protect their users from people like me. Anyways, crack me up. Hey, thank you, Susan. I hope from Carrie.
Whoever it was from, we all appreciate it. We're all on the same team. So if you ordered from me, I'm happy about it and I appreciate you. And if you ordered from Cristie, or if you happen to order from both of us, that's great too.
Yeah.
But thank you regardless.
Susan,
we love and appreciate you. And
Low
Carb Carnivore is here. Hey. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Rhonda, I see that you're going to tour a local cattle rancher on Friday. Are you going to put out a video about that? Because I'd like to watch and see if you do that. I'd like to watch and see, kind of compare, because I'm going to do mine in another month.
Are you a bad influence, Ellie?
You know what? Because she messages. So we did Instagram because we can kind of just message each other, kind of like a text, but it just kind of saves everything there and we're messaging. And so, yeah, she's messaging me and then I'm like, I'm in my classroom, but I'm like, okay. I'm not so
right.
You, but
you just type in a K real quick.
Yeah, just real quick.
I would tease my daughter. I'd be like, you mean you can't type an O along with the K? I mean,
No.
if you see where people just type in a K and send it back, and I'm like, really? Okay, now I can understand if we were talking about supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, you might want to abbreviate that, but abbreviating okay with just a K.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
okay,
saving
all
all
right.
kinds of time. And we were talking about, so teacher talk at lunchtime today was how the students don't capitalize the word I, they just put a lowercase I, and they spell the word you with just a letter U. And I'm like, yeah, that's because of the texting culture. Yeah.
Yeah. And years ago when people would like handwriting analysis, if somebody made their I a small I, it meant like self-esteem issues.
But
I
I
don't know
don't
if
think
you
that's
remember
true
that,
anymore.
but
I do
no.
remember, actually, now that you say that, I didn't remember that, but now that you say that, I do. And now it's just, so now we have to teach them, okay, when you're at school, it's like you're a professional. It's your job. You have to write with academic language. When you're with your friends, that's your friend time. That's your informal kind of language. We have to teach them the difference and make sure you use the right, wording and tone and everything for the right time.
So do you remember the book Animal Farm?
I do. I think I read it in college. It's been a long time.
Don't you think that with some of that texting and stuff, it's kind of getting like Animal Farm? Like they had evolved to where they could talk and everything.
Yes.
And then they got to where they started shortening what they were saying. And then the next thing you know, they were back down to grunts and moos or whatever. And I'm like, man, we're headed that way. I mean, pretty soon people are just gonna be grunting.
Really? Well, so our school district did implement a separate listening and speaking grade about 3 years ago. So it's separate from the reading and writing. It used to sort of be incorporated, but then nobody would do it because it's like tedious to have 30 kids get up there and each give a speech or whatever. But yeah, it's a separate grade now, listening and speaking in elementary, all across. So they have to show that they can listen and talk about what they heard, and then that they can get up and speak in a coherent fashion without fumbling, without reading, without swaying and spinning and umming and and all that, the verbal crutches that we all use. So I think it's good, and by the end of the year you wouldn't recognize them. At the end of 5th grade you wouldn't recognize them from the day they came in. So
that is true, because they're not really accustomed to that much interaction. I mean, most of their interaction is, through texting or social media, maybe watching somebody on YouTube or something, but they don't really talk with anyone in person. Not to the extent, I mean, that's all we had when I was growing up. I mean, if you could talk on the telephone, maybe if your parents would let you. They always got first dibs, and I wasn't like my friend Tanya, who had her and her sister had their own line.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Yes, fancy.
Yeah.
I never could quite figure out how they managed to talk their parents into that, or how that happened, because that was considered a big deal.
That was a big
your own line. Yeah.
I don't think I knew anybody who had their own line. Not till I moved out of my parents' house did I get my own line.
Exactly. I know.
Well, hey, you're out walking, huh? That's cool. I need to get back to that. That's awesome.
That's a problem I have now, is it's getting light later, and until time changes, it's like my walk was so short this morning because I had to get back to, so that I could log in at 7. Because I work 7 to 3:30. I rarely ever stop at 3:30. It just doesn't happen. I can't just like stop on a dime. It just, the nature of my job, I just can't. So, but I mean, I do have to be available at 7. And so my walk was like, 10, 15 minutes, because I don't want to walk like in the dark.
I sprinted in the dark today, and it rained last night, and it wasn't like slick wet, but there was definitely patches of the asphalt that were wet. I was like, how did it rain? But yeah, it smelled like rain. It must have rained. But it's just dark when I do it. I mean, we have street lights, but yeah. Oh, let me know if you think of some good ones, Rhonda, or I'll watch you and I'll get some ideas for some good questions to ask. I know I'm an amateur at that too. And Bruce,
that's
hear me.
Bruce's wife had a neurologist who always responded with KK.
Okay.
No, All right.
Was the neurologist a teenage girl?
Exactly. She had arrested development. And Rhonda read Animal Farm in high school. Yeah, I read it in high school, and then I reread it a couple times as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, especially as an adult, it makes you think. I mean, I think some of those books, when you read them when you're young, you do not appreciate them.
Correct.
And you don't have the same viewpoint as you do when you've got a little bit of age and hopefully some wisdom to go with it. Because like I said, when you're young, your brain is just full of mush, and you're still learning, and you're, like I said, you can't even, a year in the future just seems like forever, and it's just going to take so long. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember talking to my mother about going to school, and I said, I'll be, 30 by the time I get my degree. And she just said, well, you're going to be 30 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be 30 with a degree or not? So, well, yeah, okay. That's a good way to look at it.
It's true.
Oh, Bruce had his own phone line. His dad worked. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, her dad didn't work for the phone company. So, like I said, I'm not sure. Maybe she had some dirt on her parents. Like, okay, I'm going to tell everybody about X, Y, and Z. Although I was at their house all the time, so I don't think there was any dirt, but you never know. It was just a mystery to me how that, and of course, maybe her parents were in debt up to their eyeballs, because they lived in the same kind of house that I lived in. I mean, she just lived like about 4 doors down. So it's not like she lived in another neighborhood and you could tell that they had more money. I mean, their cars were very equitable. Everything was, so I just couldn't figure out. And I wanted my own phone line really bad.
I knew better than to ask. I don't even think I thought that was, I don't even think I thought.
Oh, I didn't ask either, because I knew what the answer would be. So I didn't even bring it up.
Yeah, we grow on trees. That's the answer.
Oh, so it was a teenage boy? No.
Teenage boy, KK.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. All right. So let's see. What can we, come on, folks in the chat, give us some things that we can mention and talk about. Anybody have any questions, any challenges you're going through? And hey, it's hump day. It's a downhill slide from here. What they say.
I wanted to ask you about your meditation while they're thinking of their questions, because you mentioned it before, but I was wondering, like, what does that look like and how long do you do that and that kind of stuff?
It's the meditation that I use is the morning meditation by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's a guiding meditation, and it lasts about 35 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So I get up, first thing I do when I wake up is go feed the cat, because otherwise I will not be able to meditate.
I have a cat. I want to see your cat. Well, now you got me on cats, Carrie. I can't focus on meditation anymore.
Yeah, my cat is 15. He's going on 16.
Wow.
And he's my buddy. He's got a little bit of health issues going on. I mean, he's still really happy and stuff, but like he gets sick to his stomach. And he's lost some kidney function. And I do feed him, I call it his stinky fish. I mean, it's like shrimp with fish, like the chunks of fish and stuff. It's the Fancy Feast makes it, but you see the shrimp and the fish and stuff, and that's his favorite food. So he's been eating that for a long time. So, I mean, he does eat a carnivorous diet. And sometimes I'll feed him, like tuna fish and stuff like that. He doesn't always eat that though. But anyway, his stomach just periodically, like he'll just get sick to his stomach, and there is nothing, like as a parent, when your baby whimpers and you just jump out of that bed and you just run in there. Okay. That's the same thing that I do when I hear that, that belching, that it almost sounds like, those, rubber things that the thing that you use with your babies to clean their ears out. It kind of sounds like it sounds like that noise. It's really
aspirator, the little aspirators. Yes,
exactly. And he will sound like that when he's getting sick to his stomach, and I can hear that in an instant. I am out of the bed. I might even still be doing it in my sleep, but I am jumping out of that bed to and he does that about once a night. And what's really odd though is he's so happy, like he sits by my feet during the day while I'm working and purrs, and he's just active. Like he'll get the top to an ink pen and just bat it around and stuff. So he's still very frisky and playful. He can still jump, but he just has that issue with the barfing, and he does it in the night for some reason. He rarely does it during the day. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I put Pixel. My cat's name is Pixel. She sometimes will appear in the videos, but I do have some videos about her. I put her on a carnivore diet, and she's like has more energy. She watches me sprint every day. She sits at the screen door because from the front door she can see out. And half the time she's meowing her head off the whole time. Every time I run by, she wants out there with me. But anyway.
Yeah, and I agree, Ellie. And I started meditating probably about a month or so, or maybe 2 months. It was sometime I'm thinking early February of this year. I had tried meditating a couple of times before that. And then I ran across this morning meditation just on YouTube. And I have the full version of YouTube because I just hated the ads. And I don't really watch any television. But anyway, so I could listen to that guided meditation all the way through. And so I just did that one. And for whatever reason, I kind of connected with it. And I have actually listened to some of his other guided meditations. Like there's one that's about 50 minutes long that's out there. And I actually have done that several times, like right before bed. And it's very calming, and it's really strange. It's almost like you're hypnotized. I don't even know how to describe it. But his meditations and his books, like You Are the Placebo is a fantastic book. If you get a chance to read it, I mean, I really highly recommend it. It tells you just how to change your thinking. And a lot of it is based on the old premises, from previous motivators like Bob Proctor and people like that. And even Napoleon Hill. And some of them where, what you focus on and what you think of is your reality. It's like becomes your reality. And so like your previous results or your past, you think about what it is that you're looking toward and not what happened before, because we've all had challenges. But anyway, his books are just fantastic. He's got several out, and I've got all of them on my Kindle, or actually it's a Kindle app. But anyway, I really recommend it. It's Dr. Joe Dispenza with a Z, Dispenza, Dispenza. And that meditation, especially that morning meditation that I do, is just, it gets me off to a great start. Then I take my morning walk. And then once I do that, it's like, I don't know, my head's right, my body's right. And then I can and then plus now that I'm eating such a good diet, it's like, I'm not going to say that, oh, joy, it's fun when the cat pukes and I have to clean up another pile. But I'm just stoic about it now more so. It doesn't bother me. I'm not cussing and swearing as I'm ripping off paper towels. I mean, I'm just like, oh, well, he got sick again. And, he can't help it. Mm-hmm. I'll clean it up. There's no point in getting upset. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is now. And yes. So it's not fun, but I just do it and then move on. I don't let it ruin my day or my night. Although sometimes it's like, oh man, I was sleeping so good, dude. Why did you have to do that? Yes. Oh, let's see. If you were wearing an I only eat meat, ask me why t-shirt and someone asked, what would you say?
Well, I would say that I started on a keto diet to lose weight, but when I started eating only meat, I discovered this mental clarity, brain fog doesn't exist anymore. I sleep for 6 hours and then I don't feel tired at all. Like I teach kids all day long, then I come home and I do this kind of stuff because I'm so passionate about it now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the 100-pound weight loss where everyone could look at a picture and be like fat, thin, awesome. So I have to talk about it to get across the change
Right.
happen in me. I have to say it because you can't see inside of here. But just the amount of just food freedom. I was constantly just thinking about food, what is going to go in my mouth at all times. That's gone. I only think about food when I'm hungry, and I eat something delicious like the ribeye I ate just before I came on here with all the fat. I love a good ribeye. I'm getting to where now it's like, man, I'll eat that a few times a week. But
exactly.
and now I'm full, and I'm thinking about it now, Hoosier, because you asked. But otherwise, I would just be having a good time talking with you guys, and I wouldn't be thinking about it again until later. So just the food freedom. I also had the last thing I'll say, and then I'll let Carrie answer. I had a bad case of social anxiety, and I never knew it. Like, I thought I'm just introvert. That's why I don't want to be around people. But now looking back, you get this clarity, and you can look back and be like, I was anxious to be around people. I was nervous all the time about what they were thinking, what was going to happen. Was I going to do something that would be perceived as weird or strange? That those thoughts would I couldn't go anywhere without those thoughts just taking over. And so that would be just all the mental benefits are why I stay eating only meat.
Just ditto what Cristie just said. I mean, that's pretty much, with the exception, I mean, I didn't try to lose weight at all. And I didn't, that just sort of happened, and I ended up losing too much. But I do care in the sense that I want to do some N=1 experiments to figure out, maybe how I can optimize and build some muscle. But the mental clarity, the focus, the calm that you feel. And here's the thing, I always wanted to be around people, but when I was consumed, like you were saying, with these thoughts of just, oh no, are they going to think I'm stupid? Do I have a booger hanging out of my nose? Oh crap, why are they looking at me like that? Are they staring, or why did they frown all of a sudden? Or just, oh my gosh, it was ridiculous.
Yep.
And I didn't even realize, like you said, to the extent that I did it. I mean, I knew that I was nervous. So I wanted to be around people. I wanted to be sociable. I wanted to interact. But at the same time, I worried that everything that I did was just stupid, not right. Would a normal person do this kind of thing? Mm-hmm. So I totally identify with what you said there. And just real quick here, Susan says, no cats here, but I grew up with Siamese cats, and my cat is half Siamese. He's solid white. His name is Tink, and he's always been very slim. And now it's funny. And like, my daughter was asking me, she was joking, she's messing with me, but she says, well, are you even feeding him? I mean, because you and him both are so skinny. But his is just due to his, he eats quite a bit. He eats a lot. I mean, he sure poops a lot. But he's got that issue, and they really don't know. All they could basically tell me was that his, has lost kidney function. So I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's very slender. He's one of those, we are Siamese, if you please, cats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's one.
He's like that.
Well,
very slim.
My cat's super chubby, but we're working on it. We took her off the kibble. I've been documenting that on my channel. We got her some toys, and she played. I mean, she played for 10 minutes straight. I haven't seen her do that since she's 6 years old, and I haven't seen her do that since she was a kitten. So she's, something good is happening. So we'll see if she loses her little chubby kitty belly. But
oh yeah, how long has she been carnivore now?
When I first started the channel, that was something I did. So maybe, and it's cat food, but it's like the ingredients are like tuna and fish broth. Mm-hmm. Like those are the ingredients instead of 87 vegetables and whatever else they're putting in there. But yeah, she loves it when it's food time. She sits at her bowl and just kind of looks at it, and then looks at me and looks at it and looks at me. And as soon as she sees me, also get the camera, because I've done videos where I'm going to give her food. So like the other day I was doing a video about, what was I doing? Oh, my calcium. I started taking eggshell powder to get calcium. So I did a quick video just to show everybody like what the consistency of it is. Anyways, I had my camera and here she comes and she's rubbing my legs and meowing at me. And I'm like, Pixel, it's not all about you with my phone, because she thinks that means she's going to get something.
That's great. So it's like, what is it? It's shedding. Well, crap, I just butchered that, but there's Schroeder's cat or something like that. Gosh.
Schroeder's cat with
the
box.
Yeah. It's like the cues, I think in one of the experiments, didn't they use a bell?
Oh, that's Pavlov's dog. So
that's Pavlov's dog, but that's what I was thinking.
At the sound of a bell, because they would give them the food and ring a bell every time, and then pretty soon at just the sound of the bell,
that's it. Pavlov's dogs.
Pavlov's dog. She's Pavlov's cat, and so she every time the camera comes out, she thinks she's getting something, but she's so much happier with her food. She makes little chirping noises and gets all happy and like rubs up the whole side of my leg, and she loves it. So, and she has more energy. She plays. So
that is fantastic. So the cat has a proper human diet now.
Yeah, a proper kitten diet, we call it.
And Bruce says, how is your weight gain process working out? Well, I'm still working on it, but I was at 119.4 when I had gone to see a specialist back a couple of months ago. Well, I guess it's been probably 3 months ago now. I would have to look back at my videos and see when that was. And I just went last week and got my physical, and I'm down to 110. So I have not gained any weight. I thought I was eating more. I believe I'm eating more, and I'm actually tracking better what I eat. I haven't done any videos to report on that yet but so I don't know. I like this type of format better, and I guess I need to do some other videos like demonstrating things, but I enjoy this more. So I'll update people. I'll do some N=1 lives, I guess, maybe, and just go over some of that. So yes, I believe I'm eating more. I am drinking a lot less water, and I'm doing my body weight exercises. I am going to order some of those dumbbells. I just haven't done it yet.
Those dumbbells, girl. I'm going to get back to that. I'll show them. I've had them for 5 years, so they don't even look the same. They're like a different color, but they work the same. They all nest together. So it's like a little, not a pin, like a little U-shaped thing that has a rubber band kind of thing on it. So it's all one piece. And then when you can take it all the way out, and it's just a little plastic insert that's 1.5 pounds. And then if you put it on the first bar, that's 6 pounds, and the rest of it just stays behind. And then I think it goes up like in increments of 3 pounds. So you can do like 6 and then 9 and then 12 and so on. And they're super easy to change. It takes 2 seconds. You pull it out, you pop it in, give it a good smack so it's all the way in there.
That's what I need, is something easy to change, because
my triceps are going to be different than my biceps, and I can change it in like 5 seconds. I've got the new weight, and they all just nest inside. They just nest, and it's basically like 2 dumbbells, but it just comes apart in little pieces, kind of, that lift up out of the inside. Like a Russian doll, right? One inside the other, like that.
Yeah.
And you just pop the little thing out, put it on the place that you want it. Like I said, smack it in, then you just pull the handle. And because they're square, you can put them on the ground, and you can do like push-ups where you can get more, like you can do the push-ups on there, or like your planks you can do triceps. They're square, so you can use them. You can put your weight on them like that. So I do triceps.
Think about that.
Yeah, they're better so they're multifunctional. They're really great.
That's even better.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's see. We've got Rhonda. I meditate sometimes, need to do it more. I listen to Joe D. and Esther Abrams Hicks. Yes, law of attraction. And it's funny when you just start like the same circumstance. And it's not looking at things. Maybe it is to an extent. You're kind of looking at things through rose-colored glasses. But when you think about it, if you have a choice, and it takes practice, and you have to be in the habit, and Lord knows I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. If you just start making an effort to think about the good in whatever situation that you're in, or something positive about your life, or just your circumstance, or whatever, sure, it's not perfect. Like, for example, I mean, sometimes when I'm cleaning up cat vomit, I think, well, thank God he didn't do this on the couch, which he has done before.
Yes.
So, I mean, there, it could always be different. Or thank God I didn't step in it. Like, I'm glad I woke up when he did this, and because I've done that before too.
While wearing socks, that's to me is worse than even a barefoot.
Yes.
All in your sock, and it's really gross. I think my cat does not, she hardly pukes. She's still middle-aged or whatever. But yeah, the other day she started doing that. She was on the couch with me, and fortunately we don't have any carpet anymore. So I just kind of shoved her off. So she was on the, the hard floor. All right, take away.
Yeah.
She did her thing, clean it up. But that's super rare with her, fortunately. But yeah.
So when you just think about the good, or just try to think of a bright side, because why would you, want to, well, dadgummit, I got to clean up cat vomit again. This sucks. And now my day is ruined versus, well, okay, he didn't do it on the cat. And then you just get, you know what I'm saying? You just don't let it ruin your day, and you just move on. And so then when you start looking at other things in your life, like goals and things that you want to do, and you actually visualize getting there, you visualize doing steps, and one of the things that I do while I'm listening to Dr. Dispenza's morning meditation is I'll do a run through of my day. Like, I'm going to go take my walk, and then after that, I'm going to come back and work on this, and then I'm going to figure out how to make that query work, and I'm going to, when I start doing my day job, and, you just kind of go through some of you visualize, and then, or you might have goals for a shirt design, or you might have goals related to just any number of things that you might be working on or doing. And you just picture yourself at that point of achieving those things. And then you feel really good about it, and it just kind of feeds on itself. So no, it doesn't mean that you never have a stinky day, but what it does mean is that most of your days are better, and you're not thinking about the negative pieces of it. You're just bringing in the positive and making the best of situations, and you just stay calmer. So I think between that and Carnivore, it's like I'm just able to reason through things so much better. Yes, Ellie says we can always think of something worse. When you do that, you become more positive. When something good happens, we always think about how bad it could have been. Humans are never happy.
Humans are never happy. That's true.
Well, and our bodies are programmed to just be on the lookout, because we evolved surviving in wilderness and with our tribes, and our bodies just, modern society, our bodies weren't made for modern society, I don't think, because we've got this fight or flight just going on all the time, and we're always looking for danger. And so when you're in traffic and that guy cuts you off, your heart rate goes up. If, any number of things can happen. Stock market goes up, stock market goes down, this, that, the other thing, all these things happening, and it just plays, you have the virus that shall not be named, and you have all these things just happening, and it's just our bodies are just like, oh, and they're trying to keep you safe, but in the process, that anxiety comes up. So I do think a lot of just modern life plus the crappy food.
Yeah, the problems we have to deal with now is not, something's chasing us to eat us. It's the stuff you talked about, or like you said last time, I think the sewer pipe or whatever, your plumbing.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
That you had. Those are the kind of situations. So like fight or flight doesn't really help too much during those. And so, yeah, that stress response isn't helpful at all in modern life. I agree.
And and the stressors are different. Like you said, right. We're not running from a tiger.
Right.
We're shooting somebody a bird because they cut us off in traffic. And it's a totally different thing. And now so many people are just angry all the time, it seems like. And of course, I think a big part of that is the food they're eating. Their blood sugar drops, once the little carb buzz wears off, sugar buzz, and they're grumpy, they're hangry.
Oh, I remember those sugar dips very well. It's so nice to not have that anymore, to just have that even, steady energy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Yeah, I remember feeling like I was like, I got to eat. I'm going to like pass out if I don't eat. Feeling lightheaded. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I never proofread my comments. That's okay. Sometimes, especially when I'm on the computer. Now, if I'm on my phone, my comments tend to be a lot shorter because I have not mastered the art of two-thumb texting. I just never have. I don't
Well,
know.
and I voice text, which often leads to tons of mistakes. And then I don't want to try to get back in there and fix them. So I just send it with the mistakes. My mom will still correct me. She's a teacher, retired teacher too. And she'll correct she corrects my grammar. I'm like, okay, but I was voice texting. So give me a break, mom.
Yeah. I haven't tried using the voice texting. Maybe I should do that.
Oh, do it. It's super. It'll revolutionize your way of communicating. That's almost all I do. Even if I'm, able to, it's just so much faster.
Mm-hmm. Now, when I'm on the computer, when I'm typing in a live chat or something, I'm a very fast typist.
Yeah.
I don't know how many words per minute anymore. I mean, but very fast. Back in the day, we had to take these proficiency tests, and I started out my illustrious career as a secretary. And so you had to take those typing tests. And have minimum.
I remember in high school, we still had a typing class. And so there was a room. So I graduated high school in 1993. So we're talking probably 1991 or so. And it was a very small town. So it was probably antiquated, but there was a room full of typewriters, like typewriters.
Yep.
Yeah, we had to like type out of these books. And it was like you had to get so far. If you got, they would time you and you got so far down in the paragraph and it would tell you your words per minute. And then in like the back room, there was like a few computers, like in a little back cupboard of a room. But the main classroom was all full of typewriters. Yep. And we had
I learned it was an electric typewriter. It was not manual, but I did learn on an electric typewriter in high school. And boy, I hated, what's funny is I hated typing class. I absolutely hated that class, but that has been probably the most useful class I have ever had in my life. I made extra money by typing people's term papers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing I will never forget when I was, I think it was when Cassandra she had, or was it Hunter that had the chicken pox? My son. Well, anyway, my son asked me the question, but I'm just trying to remember who I was home with. And this was back before people really ever routinely worked from home, but there was something that I needed to do. And so I was able to take a disc home, and I was able to type up the documents and stuff because my son, I believe it was my son who was homesick. But anyway, I was typing and just typing away, and he came up to me. And I'm just going to town, and he was just talking to me, and I was just talking to him, and I was looking at him. Wasn't looking at, and he says, his jaw just dropped. And I guess he just never noticed before. And I said, what's wrong? And he says, how do you do that?
Yep. I think I got up to 103 words per minute, which I know people can type faster than that, but I think that was my max. But my physics teacher, I had typing right before physics class. My physics teacher would give us extra credit if we typed our homework. So I'd sit in typing class and type up my physics homework.
Now that's a maximization of your time right there.
Yep. Well,
that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're like responsible for the kids and all of that stuff. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, boy, isn't that the truth? A Selectric, probably.
I don't know the brand. I don't know.
That's the brand. Probably, I could see it in my mind's eye, but I can't tell you what the logo was or anything.
Yeah.
But it was like a kind of a tan color with, I think, like some red accents on it. But I just can't remember the name. And then it probably was. Because, I mean, IBM ruled the world back then.
That's true. Yeah.
like in the early 80s, and they got into all the tech, and so they had the little word processors. I remember that they weren't really computers, they were just word processors
With a little screen, like about this big, and you can
yes
a sentence or two, maybe. Yeah, I remember those. Yep.
yeah, that's wild. Well, it's after 7, and I know that people have places to go and people to see, or maybe they just want to kick back on the couch and relax after a long day. So all right, Cristie, any parting words, any thoughts, any
Yeah.
previews, anything coming up?
Well, there's a bunch of stuff coming. Oh my gosh. Well, now you're going to open up a whole nother can of worms, because I had some parting thoughts, but now I have stuff coming up. So
Well, go ahead and tell us.
I'll tell you. So, of course, I keep plugging us Lioness Lifestyle Live, people, but that's coming up this coming Tuesday, the 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern. The first episode will just be get to know your hosts. It's myself and Ellie with Nourishment Redacted, and Lindsay with Lindsay Lexus. You can watch on any one of our channels under the live tab. We've got them all posted now. So Carrie, you're up first, and we have our first guest. Carrie's our first guest. So,
number one.
number one. So yeah, she'll be the following Tuesday, whatever that is. I don't know, add 7. But yeah, look at Ellie's excited. We're so excited to have you on, and we'll be learning to do what you're doing now with all the controlling of the comments and all of that. So that's definitely coming up. And also, someone that I started watching when I first went keto is Ketogenic Woman.
Yes.
So I've just been watching her for months and months, because all of her recipes, and of course now she's carnivore, and she just has the best demeanor, and I just love her. And I'm going to be on her channel.
Oh, fantastic. Congratulations.
So she hasn't sent me the link yet, but we emailed back and forth. And on October 1st, which is a Sunday at 4 p.m., that's Pacific time. We're both in the same time zone, because I'm on the West Coast. I'm in California, and she's on the West Coast of Canada. So I don't know what that translates to all of you guys, but it's 4 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday, October 1st. And I'm like, fangirling a little bit, because I've watched so many of her videos, and just kind of, you feel like you get to know these people.
Yes.
And I reached out to her, and she responded. She asked me to send her a video, which I did. And she's just said, oh my gosh, our journeys, like, I lost more weight, but otherwise our journeys are just like so similar.
Isn't that something? But I honestly think that's true of just all of us, because it's a proper human diet, and it just, we were never intended to eat this garbage.
No. And so I'm just excited about that one, mainly because I've just been watching her for so long, and now I get to sort of meet her as much as I'll probably ever get to. I don't know if I'm going to Canada anytime soon. Although
road trip.
Yeah, road trip to Canada.
Drive up the coast, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, maybe someday. But and then as far as parting thoughts, just something I've learned in the last week, or I don't know, 2 or whatever. Just if you talk about this, like, people are going to be interested. So at work, because I'm excited now. I'm excited about my channel. I'm excited about these little live streams we do. The small live streams are my favorite, because the audience is right there, and we could all just kind of chat. I like being on talking, and I like being in the chat chatting because of that reason. But anyway, I'm just excited in general about the whole experience. And so I just talked to people, and another person. So 3 people at work now have come up and asked me, like, unbidden. Like, I did not go to them. Like, I talked to somebody who then talked to them, and then they came back and got it from the horse's mouth.
Wow.
So she was so excited that she wanted to, like, sit down and meet with me. So she, we put a date. So that was yesterday. I sat with her for about an hour and kind of told her, how to get started. I told her, I personally don't recommend jumping straight into carnivore if you're all called out and everything. So I kind of told her the basics of how to get started on heavy meat keto. She's very nervous about giving up her beans and her rice. Those are her things that but I said, just take one thing out at a time. Don't do it all at once, if that's, really a hurdle for you. But I said, set a hard date on your calendar. Anyways, it's just so cool, because she's all, like, excited. She sees, the energy that I have. She wants that too. And it was just really just validating. And I'm just rooting for her. And I'm like, hey, you need anything? I gave her my number. Like, you call me. So
that is fantastic.
It's spreading. And it's just, if you just talk about it, people will pick up on that, and yeah, so that was just super like encouraging to me this week that happened.
Oh,
So
that is fantastic. And I'm sure you will probably keep us updated on her progress. And
I will.
Yeah, I mean, I know that she probably, she may or may not want to be interviewed. You might have her on your channel talking about her experience before too long.
Yeah, if she really gets going on it, yeah, it would be, because that's something I wish I did. I wish I, first of all, measured my body, my waist, my hip, like measurements. I didn't do that from the beginning. And I wish I would have documented it from the beginning, because it's hard to go back into that headspace where I was. You know what I mean? Like anyways, but I didn't have the wherewithal to do it back then. I know that, but so I started now, documenting now, but I wish I had more documentation at the beginning, measurements. And I advised her to measure herself, just do it, because that's what you're going to see. It may not show on the scale or whatever, but so yeah, I advised her about all that stuff, and I hope she does it. I'm going to check in with her in a few days, and we can, maybe she can come on I don't know if she's bold enough to do that.
Well, that might change once she really starts getting into the proper human diet. She might find, if she's shy and has those thoughts running through her mind like you and I had, and then suddenly, as she progresses, the next thing you know, those thoughts are gone, or you can at least beat them into submission.
Yep.
Once in a blue moon, I'll have a thought sneak in, but I'm just like, I'm ignoring you, get away. And that's it. So it's like, I'm not trying to impress anybody. I want people to like me. I love engaging with people, but at the same time, I'm not going to be just constantly worried about what other people are thinking anymore. I'm done with that.
Yeah.
So that's just not gonna happen, not anymore.
Absolutely.
All right, well, everybody, I am so glad you joined Cristie and I. This has been fun, and it went by way too fast.
It always does.
So there again, I'm gonna have I think I may have already put it in there, but if I didn't, I will do it shortly after this stream is actually right after this stream, if anybody's interested in shirts. And then also, I didn't think about it, but I saw your post. It was just a regular post. It wasn't a video. And I'm like, I didn't think about doing that. I didn't know if a link would work there or not.
I didn't either. You don't know. You try. It did. It worked, and it's even clickable from in there, which is cool. Because I can't sell directly from a YouTube store yet.
Yeah, me neither.
In the community tab and just see if it happens. So we have Lioness Lifestyle Live shirts in there. I have some meeting wellness theme shirts in there. And then I have like the little puns that I came up with this morning when Ellie had a shirt that was a different pun. And I was like, well, she has a pun. Now I need a pun. And so I got to punning. So,
hey, and we all need laughter, and we can all laugh at ourselves. I mean, I know I do enough that I can just laugh at it. And just like, for example, when I, asked why Ozzy Osbourne sang all those Black Sabbath songs. Okay, let's see.
Yes, Ellie.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you so much. And Ellie, of course, we like being punny.
We're punny. Ellie's the goofy one. She's cute. She likes to be goofy and silly, and that's very enjoyable. So thank you, Ellie.
All right. Well, we will see you again. We'll definitely do this. I mean, I know I'm going to be on you all's Lioness live stream on the 3rd. However, I'll definitely send you another invite for maybe another evening.
Let's do it.
Have let's see. I'm going to have Mike Shaw with Mike Shaw TV again on this coming Monday.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, he is awesome.
He's so much. He just encourages me. I'm like, he's my little like encourager guy, behind the scenes. And he's great and just very knowledgeable about things and a great conversationalist. And so that'll be Monday for Meat and Metal Monday. Awesome.
And so I'm just looking into the future, into scheduling some things. I will be on with let's see, I'm going to be on with Nicole, which is former fat girl. That will
Okay.
be tomorrow evening, depending
I'm going to
on.
be on with JT tomorrow evening, Carrie. So we have a conflict. Mine's 5. Mine's at 5 o'clock. Which I have Pacific.
Mine is at 6:30 Central Time.
Yeah, that's
Whatever
a
that.
conflict. You guys are going to have to choose.
And then on Friday night, I will be on, and that's 8 o'clock Central Time with Nicole and Dave.
Cool.
So it'll be us three doing a live together. So there's no telling where that's going to go.
That one I'll watch because Friday night I don't have anything scheduled. So that one
Fantastic.
I'll be able to be there. So yes, I'll be in the comments. You'll catch me in the comments.
All right. Well, let's see if we've got any parting words from our.
Yes, Susan, enjoy those.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And good night, Rhonda. Good night, everybody. We love you. We'll see you soon.
Bye.